the second Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, has grown bigger than ODM as a party. That is why we call him Baba. Baba is going to be a candidate of a coalition of several parties under Azimio la Umoja to unite our country. And therefore, an ODM's policy is based on democracy and transparency. And remember, Baba fought and put his head on the rail for many years, getting detained for a continuous 8 years. That was just one detention, in order to fight for democracy in this country. And this is the space he fought for, democracy. I believe Sifuna is simply scared of our ability. Engineer Gumbo and I, if they wanted to hire us, even today, to deliver for ODM, they know we will deliver for ODM. So if they don't want to hire us to deliver for them, then what we are simply doing is to avoid what we call voter apathy. We would want Right Honorable Raila Odinga to get as many votes as possible. We want to encourage each and every person that thinks he can run on any other party to run on that party, so that we don't lose any votes. But most interestingly, I would say that Sifuna cannot deliver for ODM, even an MCA seat in Bungoma. And he knows we can deliver for ODM all the seats in Siaya. So we are not at the same level with him. Yeah. So that is our position, and he should encourage. They should not kill ODM. Yeah. He's on the forefront. Remember, he's running for a senatorial seat in Nairobi, and he's the one that is frustrating ODM because he's running against Maina Commander, who is giving us more votes which we require from Mount Kenya. Thank you.
I think our candidate is actually very good, because I do believe the two of us here, and you know, we live in here, the two of us easily command over 70% of the votes in Siaya County. That is not something that we are saying. That is something that even ODM is aware of. And I think the other point that Sifuna is missing is that devolution has completely changed the way politics is perceived. Because nowadays, the way, for example, the seat of the governor is seen is not the same way the seat of the Senate is seen, because people have come to realize that if you get a good governor who can work for you, a lot of these little things that bother us can be sorted out. And people compare and they see the kind of progress that have been made in other counties. So really, it's not as simple as he wants it to be. In fact, you live here and you do know that the voter apathy in Siaya County has been progressive. In 2013, about 43,000 registered voters did not vote because of the messes that were brought from the party primaries, where some candidates that have had great attachments to the people had to drop out of the way. And that number, in fact, increased to about 80,000. Us being in this race, in fact, is so good for Raila, because it ensures that those people who would have shied off, there are very many people, unless Sifuna is completely out of touch with reality. If the two of us were not run, they would simply say we are not voting. They would. I have met thousands of people who are saying that if you guys are not voting, I'll just ban my voter's card. So our candidate is very healthy, and I think the people just have to live with the fact that competition is here to stay. Then, for me, on the flip side, I think our candidate is so good. You all know the presumptive ODM candidate for governor's post. He has run several elections without even producing a poster. These days his banners are all over the place. In fact, we are the ones who are behaving like we have not even produced a single banner. He's got rickety lorries running all over with these banners. These are very good developments because it shows that even lazy people can be smoked out of their hiding place by competition. When you see very lazy people who ordinarily would be drinking up to 11, starting to run all over the place because Gumbo the winner in the race, that is such a good thing. I mean, it's good for, and they are even lining up people and dishing out money, something that they have never done for. And when you are in your mid-70s and you still have to line up people to do, it's a statement that something has been wrong in your history as a politician. But that aside, I think more serious things really. My view is that as it's not just me and Charles here who should run. As many people as possible who want to run for governor should be encouraged to do so. Because that is one way of mobilizing voters. They may not necessarily be elected. And I think anybody telling themselves that how would we know that we are merely frustrating who? In fact, to the contrary, we are the ones who are being frustrated because the guy who, the presumptive candidate, knows that he has absolutely nothing in his DNA that would make him a suitable candidate for governor. So the frustration is coming from the other side. We want to work for Shia people. He would rather, he is even forgotten that Raila is not an ODM candidate. Raila is an Azimio candidate. Many times he has to say we are voting ODM 6-piece. Which ODM 6-piece? Raila is not in ODM. So we are just saying that from where I sit, this is the home county of Raila. And honestly, you all know that the scorecard for devolution here has been pathetic. And we are out to correct that. That is not frustration. That is having the interest of the nearly 1 million CR residents at heart. It's not frustration. And with all due respect, Sifuna has never even been elected an MCA. So let him first try to square it out with Maina Kamanda, who probably will beat him before he can talk about who is frustrating who. And let us run the affairs of this country because we have made it clear that our priority is to make sure that Right Honorable Raila Odinga becomes the president. That is the common denominator. All these other posts, their desire obviously would have been that much as they really don't have an agenda for the people of Shia, they're left to run and we have another 10 years of doing nothing. And that's why we have insisted that for a seat as important as that of the governor, people must put their record on the table. What have you done? Hashtag #CMNoIDMisetim. That is what we are saying. And they know when you go that way, they get, it's like you have thrown concentrated acid at their faces because they have no record. We are running on our record. We are running on our desire to make this a model county, and insinuations, and of course Sifuna has no capacity to intimidate us because he doesn't even vote here and he can't deliver anything for ODM. All we are saying is that let him focus on what he's doing. That's ODM headquarters. We have made a decision to run within Azimio, but on a different party for which we absolutely owe no one an apology because that's the right way to go so that we can carry as many people as possible to vote for Raila.
There's this talk by some ODM officials that Azimio is just for presidents and Sierra Leone is zone for ODM.
There is a difference between a wish list and the reality. That's a wish list for some people who know that given a competition on a fair level, they stand no chance of succeeding. No one has said that. You know for a fact that here where we are, here County, even if you were to have 100 Azimio candidates, there's no way Kenya Kwanza candidate can win. The more for me, the better. That's a wish list. That is, they are confusing a wish list with a position of Azimio. No one has said that. There's no quarantining here. There's those silo mentalities that they are talking about. That is only residents in their fertile imagination. It doesn't exist. We are here and we are going all the way. And not just going all the way, we are here to deliver this seat to a competent Azimio governor for Siaya County, not people who are looking for retirement packages.
Mheshimiwa, Siaya is known for being chaotic, and from today's prayer session we had chanting of ODM raising tension. What can you commit that there will be a peaceful campaigns and elections?
I can't commit on behalf of people who see the youth as having no value other than the fact that they can give them changa to make noise. But I can commit on behalf of the two of us that we have no use to misuse the youth of Siaya. In fact, if you listen to my speech, I said it very clearly that the same way my children need to get quality education is the same way all the voters of the children of all the voters of Siaya need to get quality education. The same way my children should be deserving to be paid for school fees is the same way. So the fact that some people want to use shortcuts, to me it was a minor incident anyway, and I talked to some of them by the way, and they said that they confessed that they had been given a glass or two of changa to come and heckle us, but most of them are my friends. I've been friends with them. They were asking for more money to go and take changa, and I said no, you can't take more changa, maybe you go buy unga and feed yourself. And I've said it before, this is symptomatic of the problems that we have to tackle as a county. If you have youth who are meaningfully engaged, they will not be misused by politicians. I think even the clergy were very clear that let us not misuse our youth. Those were people who are given. I wouldn't qualify it to be that it was disorderly or anything. It was the exception more than that. Maybe Charles can say something more.
Yeah, it was nice for us because most of those young men called me in advance and told me that it is their time to reap. These politicians, they elect them and they go away. So when they pay them to make noise, they would eat the money. They told us we'd make mild noise so that they feel at least we did some work. So you can see it was very mild, and you saw them running up to us asking for now something
for
better.
More money to go and buy bread.
So it's just a game. And equally, the politicians who are talking about ODM 60, they are misleading the voters, because the voters will not find ODM on Raila's ballot. What they'll find is Azimio la Umoja. But basically these are very lazy politicians who they have never understood how to look for votes, how to campaign, how to resonate with the people. And therefore they hang on Baba's coat all the time. You look for some little money, you bribe your way through, you get ODM ticket, and then automatically you get your position. We are changing this, and wait and see what happens. We are not violent people. My background is discipline. I'm a disciplined person. I also equally know how to instill discipline. So be sure that Siaya is going to be peaceful. There may be one or two attempts, but we are going to deal with it in a good procedure. So the campaigns are not yet to start, but it will be a tough competition, and it's a healthy competition because we are ensuring each and every person comes out to vote for Baba, and we want Baba to become president, so that people get to know what the presidency means. That we are not going to have a tribal president, a tribal chief. We are going to have a president that will look at the country in its holistic nature. We would have a Baba who would invest in Kwale, invest in Kilifi, invest in Northeastern, invest in Turkana. That's the president we are looking for. We are not lazy. Gumbo and I, we are not lazy. We have capacity, even without becoming governor and deputy governor, to feed this country. We work hard. We have things we can point that we do. So we are not scared, and we are not scared of people trying to use cheap politics. It is good. I would want to thank President Uhuru Kenyatta for having brought Azimio la Umoja, because it's going to help very many Wanyonges that people like. So expect the best out of us. It's a tough competition, and we will emerge the winners. Because you know, us even stealing our vote is impossible. You can't. And that is why people feared getting into nominations with us. Because they knew they could not steal my vote. And they knew the opponent could not beat me. So what we are going for is tough. And nobody will touch our vote. And peacefully. We are organized. Gumbo and I, we are very organized. So people who are lazy, who drink alcohol and China cannot beat us.
But I think more fundamentally, even you as members of the media, please, it's important that this point is driven home, because we have a lot of voters here who are not as informed. When you keep on pursuing selfishness under the banner of ODM, and you are failing to educate the voter that Raila will not be an ODM candidate, will be Azimio, actually you are risking Raila's vote. I think this is something that we need to embark on, all of us, to make it known that Raila will be an Azimio. In fact, the situation we are in, by the way, is very close to NAC of 2002. Because remember, NAC was, there was NAK, which had Ford Kenya and the Tungilu's other parties. And they were all coming in, but at the end of the day, they were voted in as NAC. So really, we need to educate the people seriously that Raila will be an Azimio candidate. And anyone talking of six-piece is, yes, he should talk of six-piece, but only insofar as Azimio candidates are concerned. From top to bottom, yes.
If I may add something, members of the press, you know, I'm running on a DAP Kenya ticket. My two colleagues here are running on UDM, but we are both Azimio. And you know that when we were at that event, we had members of ODM. For example, JT Okinda is running as an ODM candidate, but is a member of the coalition. So the likes of Sifuna, who don't understand the idea behind coalition politics. There are pre-election coalitions and post-election coalitions. Azimio has entered into a pre-election coalition. That means that members of the same coalition, parties that are brought together by Azimio coalition, have to participate in election, and we are